Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to go into the Fiend Folio, take a look at one of my favorite monsters in all of D&D, not just the Fiend Folio, and that is the wonderful, effervescent, life of the party Death Knight. Yes, the Death Knight, the most famous of whom is Lord Soth from the Dragonlance series. Death Knights are just outstanding. I remember the first time I threw one of these at a party in the very early 80s. It was a little while after this book had come out because the party had to get a little stronger. But they are very rare. One number appearing is 1, AC 0, which is quite formidable back in the day. 9 hit dice, and they're 10-siders. Number of attacks 1 by weapon type is the damage. Special attacks see below. Special defenses see below. Magic resistance 75% and see below. Average to genius, they're chaotic evil, and they're medium. The Death Knight, and there are only 12 of these dreadful creatures known to exist, is a horrifying form of lich created by a demon prince. It is thought Demogorgon, from a fallen human paladin. The Death Knight itself cannot be turned or dispelled, though it is affected by Holy Word, but it has power over undead equivalent to that of a 6th level cleric, so it can command undead into its service, which is pretty cool. It has 75% magic resistance, and if 11 or lower is rolled on the percentile dice, a magic spell will be reflected back at the caster. Roll each time a spell is attempted. That can be pretty powerful too. If you've cast that magic missile hoping to beat the MR and he comes up with a nice low MR roll, if it's 11 or lower, then he can bounce that magic missile right back on you. The Death Knight wears light armor, 9 to 12 inch movement depending on its other encumbrance, but it is always treated as armor class 0. It has 18 double out strength, and usually attacks with a sword, 80% chance of this being a magical sword. It will usually be riding a nightmare. Nightmares are wonderful. One of each which can be summoned to serve the Death Knight every 10 years. The beast will serve a Death Knight as a paladin's horse serves a paladin. The fearsome powers of the Death Knight derive largely from its use of magic. It continually generates fear in a 5-foot radius, can create a wall of ice at will, which is an incredibly powerful power, because remember, you can take a wall of ice, lay it on its side, and it becomes an ice storm. And has innate powers to detect magic and detect invisibility. Twice a day, it can dispel magic and gain in a demon of type 1, 20%, type 2, 25%, type 3, 30%, type 4, 20%, type 5, 50%, with a 75% chance of the gate opening. Once per day, a Death Knight can use any of the power word spells, which is just incredibly powerful, the symbol of pain, fear, and generate a 20 hit dice fireball. Where appropriate, a Death Knight's magic use is at the 20th experience level, so if you're calculating magic resistance against his spells. A Death Knight will speak 3 to 6 languages in addition to its alignment tongue and the common tongue. Wow, this guy is powerful. He's got 75% MR, and as an undead, he's immune to mind-affecting things like charm, hold, that sort of stuff, so you've lost some of your arsenal right there. He's got an 11% chance of reflecting a spell back on you during his MR check, so he can not only possibly negate the spell through magic resistance, but he can bounce it back on you on a roll of 11 or less. That's really powerful. He can use every one of the power word spells once a day. Power word blind, power word kill. This is just tremendous power. Gate in demons. If he gets a type 5 demon, type 5's not on here. Nope, type 6. Good, because type 5 is the one with all the arms that can attack you with the snake body. She's got 6 arms, I think. Any symbol of pain or fear, which means he can put that on the area he's in too, since it's a symbol. That is just an incredibly powerful creature. But I like the idea that there are only 12 in existence, although I've violated this many, many times. And I like the idea that these guys are fallen paladins who've been cursed by a devil, or by a demon, I'm sorry, most likely Demogorgon. There's just so many things that are cool about Death Knights. Lord Soth is the Knight of the Black Rose from the Dragonlance saga, and then later into Ravenloft. Lord Soth is a very interesting character. He was married with a child, I believe. I don't know. He was married, fell in love with a beautiful elf maiden, and the elf maiden, her beauty and his desire for her so overwhelmed him that he committed the heinous crime of killing his wife, and his wife cursed him that he would forever be cursed as an evil knight. That's a very simple telling of the story of Lord Soth from Dragonlance. There's a lot more nuance to that, but I'm not going to go into it here. So there you have it, Death Knights. I remember reading this book back in '81 and coming across this guy and going, "Oh yeah, we're going to be using this guy," and then seeing how powerful he was, and I had to wait a little bit because in '81, our strongest characters were maybe around 8th, 9th level. They hadn't progressed very far, so it was a little bit. I don't remember exactly when I used Death Knights the first time. I know I used them at that club I used to belong to, where I would frequently kill players, just because that's how D&D used to be. I didn't do it to be mean. I did it because that's how we used to play D&D. And I do remember the Death Knight's 20 dice fireball getting a fair number of players in that particular game. So there you have it, a really nasty looking creature here from the Fiend Folio, the Death Knight. Let me know what you think if you use them in your campaign, and if they're great or if they're terrible, you let me know. That's all I've got today. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please remember the Patreon. Take a look at that and see if you can help me out there. And thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time on page 121.